So the DBLK guys just got a devlog, and Jesus Christ, this is a very different aircraft. But yeah, guys, a flying wing design that still has an empennage, and it was leaked, and of course, it appeared even in the data mines in the previous update, right? An aircraft that will be a premium bomber, unfortunately, but for the USSR at rank 1. So even though it's a premium, which is kind of sad, you're gonna have to spend real money on it. It is a rank 1, so it is very cheap, I would imagine, right? I am very interesting about this aircraft because this thing, guys, uses, as a pilot, you see this type of thing, it kind of tickles your brain in the right way, right? Because it is a flying wing design. It looks like even a bat from below. It's kind of weird, but it still has an empennage, so it's a very different design. And from the late 30s, right? It means that it is very ahead of its time, I would say, right? And the Soviets, they do throughout their history like a different doctrine from the Germans and the Americans, for example, that they always had these very crazy ideas, right? These every time they would buy, or the state would buy another aircraft or produce another aircraft in the general sense, or a submarine or a ship or a tank. Not every single time, but most of the time the doctrine was to scrap everything that they had before, get all the knowledge that they had, previously acquired, and build something new, right? And with that type of doctrine, it's not, it's not better, it's not worse, it's just their own way, of doing things. You can sometimes get this type of design, which is very, very different from anything at the time, right? So, yeah, the DBLK was a Soviet bomber in the late 30s. Only one prototype was built, and unfortunately, it was destroyed by the Soviets, right? In the initial bombardments and initial push from the Germans in World War II to Moscow, right? They didn't have the pilots to just fly the aircraft at the time, to get away from Moscow and everything, and eventually it was destroyed, and it never saw service, and that's probably why it's going to be a premium, right? So this is, like I said, wing design aircraft, right? Basically an aircraft that is just built around the wing, but it has two cockpits in kind of a dual engine situation. So it's very even hard to actually explain what it is. You were seeing on the screen, it's a crazy, crazy design, right? It has a payload of up to 2 tons, right? HE or AP bombs, which is pretty insane. And also, it has 4 7.62 millimeter defensive guns, which was pretty alright at the time, with kind of a mega rotating back part of the air, like the gunner part there. It's just very hard to explain what this thing is, right? It should be able to fly very well. In real life, there were some problems with just not being fast enough as they expected. They expected it to have an M88 engine, but they eventually just used the M87B, right? So it was supposed to be faster, and it had a very high landing speed as well, which becomes dangerously finicky to land sometimes, right? So that's why it never went to service, but it's still going to fly very well. It's going to fly very well. So, yeah, very interesting bomber. Like I said, it is a rank 1 vehicle, so you can expect, of course, kind of a bad performance, obviously, compared to higher tiers, but it's still pretty interesting and can get at like 500, 600 kilometers per hour, right? And that's kind of it, guys. A very interesting design. The project name of the DBLK, because, of course, when it was, if it was to be started to be produced, it would have a proper name, but the project itself had DBLK, since it was just a prototype name, right? So, Downy Bombardirovsky, I don't know how to pronounce that part, or any part actually, Letayushye Krilo, or something like that, which basically means long-range bomber flying wing, right? So you can see that this name is very much just a description of the project, right? It didn't have a proper, normal aircraft name. So, yeah, very interesting. For sure, I'll be flying this thing. Not going to get a lot of attention, I would imagine, but it is still pretty good. So, this is the devlog for today. Nothing too crazy, but a very interesting design coming for the Soviets. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to join the Discord and in the description. And of course, become a Patreon or a member if you want to help the channel. See you guys on the next one, and bye. See ya.